So investment in new technologies, I think, has been a really big part of our success as a small digital publisher. One of the important things about this for us is that we've developed Janeway, which is our own open access publishing software that our dedicated senior developers have created. And they constantly improve this based on user feedback. Now, I think this is a really brilliant asset, as several of our own open access journals have since migrated across to the platform. Now, using our own in-house technology allows us to help keep costs low, and we also offer hosting packages, which is very handy in helping to bring in further funds. We've also made accessibility a core of the platform, and this is really important to us as an open access publisher, and we've invested in new digital tools to help us do this. So Janeway, our software, is now compatible with several major publishing software systems, making it easier for journals to migrate across. And we're also working towards the highest level of web content accessibility guidelines compliance, and this helps to ensure that access cuts across many different axes of disability.
Yeah, it's really about a focus on audience. It seems an obvious thing to say, but we're an audience development business, and our audience is transient. If somebody starts study or decides to embark on a program of study, then they're no longer interested in what we're doing. So we have to keep working at it. That's involved investment in our organic search management. We're a small business, so we don't have teams of search engine optimizers or particularly significant budget for PPC activity. So we've got to invest and trust in the tools and the analysis that we can do ourselves. And then, of course, build an editorial strategy on long-tailed content and start building onto that. We also do regular surveys of prospective students to understand their motivations and concerns. We try and encourage our editorial team to get out there and meet the audience as much as they can at recruitment events and those sorts of things. But we're on a small budget, so we can't throw lots of money at this. We've had to invest in diagnostic tools, but we've also invested probably most significantly in our AMP presence, and that's been critical for us because so many of our markets, particularly the South Asian market, simply aren't desktop based. So if we're not speedy, accessible, relevant on a mobile device, then we're going to miss out on what's the biggest single market for an audience and an incredibly attractive audience to our client base of universities around the world who are looking to attract international students.
So my tip for transforming a big idea into measurable growth would be to think sustainably, which I think is particularly helpful for small teams working with limited resources. Now, this has been really important for us at the OLH. And when we were launched in 2015, the aim was to find a sustainable business model to help enable academic journals to publish without any charges to authors or readers, making world-leading research accessible to anyone. Now, we initially launched with the help of grant funding, but the major challenge was to turn this into sustainable growth using a business model that could eventually pay for itself. So to do this, we focused on ensuring sustainability in all areas, being really careful to expand gradually, and taking on new open access journals only as our support base and funding grew accordingly. So 5 years on, I'm really pleased to say we've achieved financial independence. We've got nearly 300 supporting institutions and a portfolio of 28 academic journals. So it's been great to see such measurable growth take place within a sustainable framework.
It's really about how we leverage the advantages of being a small team, because ultimately it's all about the team that you build around you. We're a very small team, but ideas come from everywhere because everyone is both exposed to our client base, they're exposed to our performance, our analytics, and everyone knows that they've got a substantive contribution to make to the success of the business. Everyone's invested in our success and is rewarded by our continuing success. So it's really about making sure that you don't end up falling down into different silos and keeping a community together. Obviously, there's been challenges around that through the COVID situation. And keeping communication channels open. We have our Slack channels are a vibrant community for our small team, chatting to each other. The weekly updates of the volume of messages that are left on our Slack account is always significant. But that's helped break down some of those challenges that have been around the inability to be able to shout across the office and say, "Hey, have you done that thing?" or "Where's that? What's the situation on this?" So really, it's just about the team and about making sure you take advantage of being a close-knit group.